A very good evening. We're coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios right here in Colombo with primetime news. I'm Mahina Bongzo. Here's a look at your headlines for tonight.
Private bus employees to launch strike at midnight. Bus owners say they will not support the employees' decision. Former Navy officer Chandan Hetchaywachi remanded over the abduction and disappearance of 11 youth. Heavy rain accompanied by strong winds to continue. Spill gates of 5 reservoirs opened. Who is backing former President Mahinda Rajapaksa?
And for those stories in detail now, private bus operators are gearing up to launch a strike action from midnight tonight. Railway trade unions have also warned that they would commence a strike action from midnight on Tuesday if the promises made to them are not fulfilled.
The All Ceylon Private Bus Workers Association said it would launch a strike from midnight against new spot fines imposed for violating road rules. New spot fines were introduced for 33 traffic violations with effect from the 15th of July. The minimum fine was raised to 500 rupees and the maximum spot fine was increased to 3,000 rupees. According to the association, due to the traffic congestion on the roads and the functions of the law enforcement agencies, the new spot fines have severely inconvenienced their operations. From midnight today, all drivers who possess a professional driving license will step away from their duty. Not only bus operators, but we will also have the support of 6,000 drivers and employees attached to freight containers in the port. They will step away from their duty. Around 300 bus drivers in Colombo will step away from their duty. 6,000 three-wheeler drivers will also go on strike. We were never informed in this regard. It must be made clear, this is not the time for a strike action. There were a series of strike actions launched over the past few days. I request all to report to service. We are aware of the issue. That group did not inform us about the strike action. We cannot support their strike action. The reason being the examinations of the students. We even postponed our own strike action. We will not support the strike action and all our buses will operate as usual.
දැන් ඉස්සලා කෝච්චි වර්ජනයක් තිබ්බා. ඒක ඉවරුණු ප්‍රශ්නේ පටන් ගත්තා මේ බස් වර්ජනය. හමුදාව තියෙනවා පුළුවන් නම් ඒව දාලා හරියට දුවවල සේවකයෝ ඉන්න ගන්න නැත්නම් ප්‍රයිවට් බස් තියෙනවා ඒව හරියට පවර ගන්න පුළුවන් මේ ජනතා සන්තක කරන්න පුළුවන් එහෙම කරලා ක්‍රමයක් ගන්න ඕන. අපේ හමුදාවේ ඉන්නවා. නේවි එකේ අය ඉන්නවා. ඩ්‍රයිවර්ලා ඕන තරම් ඉන්නවා. තියෙන ඒවා පවරාගෙන ඒගොල්ලෝ දාලා මේ දුවන්න ඉපෑ. අතිරික්තයක් ඉන්නවා CTB එකේ මං හිතන විතර ඒ කට්ටියවත් දාලා තව රිටයර් වෙච්ච කට්ටිය තව පුළුවන් කට්ටියදිනේ මේක මේ විසඳුමක් දෙන්න. එයාලවත් දාලා ආමිගේ කට්ටියවත් දාලා අපිට මේකට විසඳුමක් කරන් දෙන්න පුළුවන් ලොකු දෙයක්. මොකද ඒක කරන්න යන්නේ බස් තියෙන්නේ. ඒ බස් වලට ඒක මේගොල්ලෝ රජයෙන් මේ එක්කහලා ඒ බස් එක රජය කරන දිවනම් මේ කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ මිනිස්සු කොමිසයකට කීයක් දීලා බස් එක දුවන්න ඔය පිටරටින් බස් මේකට දාන්න ඒ වැඩේ කරන්නේ.
The railway trade unions in the meantime allege that the promises made for them to call off their strike action have not been met as yet. On the 8th of August, railway trade unions launched an unannounced strike action of opposing the rejection of the cabinet paper that was produced to solve the salary anomalies of several grades in the railway service. We have given an ultimatum of 1 week. If this matter is not solved by then, we will resort to a trade union action. No promise was made at the cabinet meeting yesterday to solve the issue. We were waiting for this matter to be discussed at least last night. Again, if we are informed that this will not be solved, even following discussions with the president, we will immediately launch a trade union action from that very moment. Views were also expressed on the discussions held with the finance minister. The finance minister said this will not be awarded. He requested for 3 months' time, noting the salary scales of all trade unions must be discussed and then solved. We requested him to agree with the approved cabinet paper. We did not agree with the decisions he made. We have no issue with him. He is speaking from his point of view, citing the damages caused to the economy. This will not cost the state a lot. He is speaking of figures given by others which are not true. Yesterday,
දෙකක් යනවා නම් ওই කොමිසමෙන් තීන්දුව වෙන්න. එතකම් මේ දුම්රිය සේවකයෝ බලන් ඉඳීද? ඒ මාස දෙකක් බලන් ඉන්න බැරි. කැබිනට් එක පොලිසි ඩිසිෂන් එකක් අරගෙන තියනවාද? බජට් එකෙන් අර වර්ෂ අතරමැද ස්ට්‍රයික් වලින් ප්‍රොටෙස්ට් වලින් ඉලන ඉල්ලීම් වලට ඒක විශේෂයෙන් වෙටු පෙරවීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් දෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා පොලිසි ඩිසිෂන් එකක් අරන් තියෙනවා රජය. නෑ එහෙම 아무තු තීන්දුවක් අරගෙන නැහැ. දැන් මංගල සමරවීරමතුමා ওই කතාව නේ අමතුමා කිව්වේ. මොකද කිව්වේ? අමතුමා කියන්නේ බජට් එකෙන් පහන වෙන කොහොමද දෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. ඒ තුමා මුදල් ඇමතිවරයා විදිහට ඒක ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා ඇති. ඒක රජයේ ප්‍රතිපත්තියද? රජයේ ප්‍රතිපත්තියක නෙවෙයි. වෙන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. මාත්‍යාංශයේ තීන්දුවක්.
The Sri Lanka Self-Employed Professionals National Three-Wheel Federation convened a media briefing today to comment on certain trade union leaders who are with former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. We, of course, have details of this story coming up later on in the news bulletin. The Criminal Investigation Department is due to record a statement from former President Mahinda Rajapaksa over the 2008 abduction and assault of journalist Keith Noyar. Police media spokesperson SP Ruan Gunasekara said the statement will be recorded at the official residence of the former president on Friday morning.
අධිපතිතුමා අපරාධ පරීක්ෂණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුවට කැඳවද නැත්නම් එතුමාගෙන් ප්‍රශ්න කරන්න එතුමාගේ නිවසට යනවද මොකද
එතුමාගේ නම කියවෙනකොට එතුමාට කැඳවන්න වෙනවනේ කීත් නෝයගේ මේ එකේ දැන් එකින් එක උඩට යනවා කීත් නෝයට පාර දීම ගැන. ඉතින් එතකොට ඒවට උත්තර දෙන්න වෙනවා.
මොකක්ද එතුමාගෙන්
අගමැතිතුමාත් ගියේ උත්තර දෙන්න.
මොකක්ද එතුමා
එතුමාත්වරයා වශයෙන්
හිටපු ජනාධිපතිතුමා ඒ සිද්ධියයි මොකක්ද එතුමා සම්බන්ධයි?
සම්බන්ධිත ඒක නම් මම දන්නේ නැහැ සම්බන්ධය මොකක්ද කියලා. ඒක කීත් නෝයගේ මේ එකේ පරීක්ෂණ වලට තමයි.
Former Navy Lieutenant Commander Chandana Prasad Hettiarachchi was remanded until the 29th of August by Fort Magistrate Lanka Jayaratna.
Former Navy Lieutenant Commander Chandana Prasad Hettiarachchi was named as the 10th suspect in the case filed over the abduction and disappearance of 11 youth using white vans. The magistrate issued an order on the prison superintendent to permit the Criminal Investigations Department to record statements from the suspects from within the prison premises for the ongoing investigations. Former Navy Lieutenant Commander Chandana Prasad Hettiarachchi was arrested at 2 in the afternoon on the 13th down Lotus Road in Colombo. The CID informed court that at the time of the arrest he possessed an identification card which contained his photograph by the details of another individuals. The CID further informed court that the suspect had visited Malaysia on the 17th of April 2017 using a fake passport which was prepared using fabricated documentation. The CID stressed there is serious suspicion that a former top-ranking Navy officer may have assisted the suspect in preparing false documentation and to flee overseas. The magistrate ordered for an extensive investigation to be carried out if one had assisted the suspect to flee overseas, as he was also evading court. CID informed court that Chandana Prasad had returned to the country in March 2018 and had served as a security guard at an estate in Dompe and also as the estate owner's cook.
The joint opposition convened a media briefing today and an exchange of words took place over one media institution not allowed to cover the event.
The entire country is aware that at the Attanagalla Divisional Secretariat Committee meeting, former President Chandrika Bandaranayake had requested the media to step out of the meeting, excluding two media institutions. Why are they doing so? The Divisional Secretariat had invited them. What right do they have to ask them to step out? The Right to Information Act exists. Through that, the media reveal information to the public. I wish to express my disappointment over that matter. If we have given an invitation, what was done is wrong. We have not given an invitation, so you cannot force yourself here. Let's discuss this. We will allow those who were invited to cover this. Can I sneak into your house? This is private premises. No one can forcefully enter another person's house. It is against all morals. There was a massive struggle over the bond scam at a time when the government said there was no such scam. We made valiant efforts to establish the fact in society that such a scam did take place. At that time, those involved in the scam had made payments to some media institutions and taken over them. They made attempts to clean up the bond scam through that. We have information on that. Based on the information we have decided not to invite certain media institutions because we have information that they operate from the proceeds of the bond scam.
Gale winds experienced in the early hours of today caused serious damage to houses and property across several areas in the island.
7 Grama Seva jurisdictions, including Algama and Udgama, that fall within the Virumugedera Divisional Secretariat in Kurunegala, were the worst affected area from gale winds. It is reported that 8 houses were seriously damaged by gale winds and uprooting trees. Around 88 houses were partially damaged. Several houses in the Dambadeniya and Mumana areas in Pannala were also damaged from gale winds and uprooting. Gale winds were experienced in the Hewahine area in Aliagora this morning, which resulted in serious damage to more than 40 houses. The inclement weather had also caused a serious impact on the lives of many people in the affected areas. Several houses in the Lower Muscatine area were damaged following the collapse of earth embankments. As a result of this, 6 families living in the Lower Muscatine area were evacuated to safety. Vehicular movement along the Hatton-Colombo main road came to a standstill in the Waterville area following the collapse of an earth embankment. A similar incident took place in the St. Clair, which impacted vehicular movement along the Hatton-Candy main road. The water level of the Mahabali River had risen considerably following the rainfall experienced in the Central Hills for the past 4 days. Taking this situation into account, 2 sluice gates of the Polgola Reservoir were opened this morning. The Mahabali Engineer's Office requests the locals living on both sides of the Mahabali River below the reservoir to be vigilant. 3 sluice gates of the Upper Kotmale Reservoir have been completely opened. All 3 sluice gates of the Mausakala Reservoir were opened this morning by 5 inches each.
In more local news, the Bandaravatta Public Fair in Beliatta, constructed under the Samata Sahana project, was declared open today by Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Minister Sajid Premadasa.
The Bandaravatta Public Fair was constructed under the provisions allocated by the Ministry of Housing and Construction at a cost of 25.4 million rupees. Visiri housing loans valued at 20.3 million rupees were presented among 203 families in the area. The bitter truth is this: of the 6 million families in the country, 2.5 million families are facing serious housing issues. Many communities in the country are battered by these issues. They live lives with no happiness. We identified that the need of the era is to provide immediate solutions to the issues faced by the general public. We must not make discussions with the people a simple facade for the media. That is why, in the coming few weeks, the Minister of Housing and Construction will launch the mobile housing service program across all 331 secretariat areas located across 25 districts in the 9 provinces of the country. There are 38,000 small villages across 14,022 Gram Seva divisions. We will definitely solve the housing issues of these people.
Indian Independence Day is a hugely significant national holiday which marks a seminal moment the nation became independent from the United Kingdom. This was officially declared on the 15th of August 1947, making this India's 72nd Independence Day.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi said in his last Independence Day speech ahead of next year's general election that India will launch its first manned space mission by 2022 and roll out a health insurance scheme from September. This will make India the 4th nation to do so after the United States, Russia and China. Modi, a powerful speaker who will seek re-election in the world's biggest democracy early next year, used the speech to broadcast his government's achievements amid concerns about lack of jobs and rising violence against the Muslim minority. In his 80-minute speech, Modi said the pace of building highways, electrifying villages and building toilets has increased since his landslide 2014 election win that devastated the main opposition Congress party. Congress, which had ruled India for decades, is now trying to unify the opposition to challenge Modi, whose personal ratings remained high despite recent election setbacks. The Indian Independence Day was also celebrated in Colombo and Kandy districts in Sri Lanka. Addressing the event organised by the Indian High Commission in Sri Lanka, Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Taranjit Singh Sandhu, expressed the following views.
The Independence Day, so close to the 150th anniversary commemoration of Gandhiji, let each of us adapt his ideas and maxims in whatever manner we can in our everyday work and conduct. I can think of no better way to celebrate our freedom. I can think of no better way to celebrate Indianness. In the spirit of Gandhiji and the spirit of India, we believe in the age-old ideal of Vasudha Kutum, or the world is one family. This is why we demonstrate our concern for the entire humanity by providing assistance to many African countries, taking initiatives on the issues of climate change, contributing to the United Nations peacekeeping operations in different parts of the world, helping neighboring countries affected by natural disasters, rescuing people from other countries, along with our own people trapped in a conflict zone.
The 72nd Indian Independence Day was celebrated in the official residence of the Indian Consul General in Jaffna.
Arrangements are being made with regard to the Kankasanture port and Palali airport as requested by the Sri Lankan and Indian governments, which will benefit the people in the northern province.
The Lanka Self-Employed Professionals National Three-Wheel Federation convened a media briefing today to comment on certain trade union leaders who are with former President Mahinda Rajapaksa.
On Monday, speaking at a trade union meeting presided over by the former president, Mahinda Kahandagamage, a leading figure of the Federation of Self-Employees, criticized Sunil Jayawardena, who is the president of a similar organization. Our duty was to attend and maintain silence. We did that. However, the gang of thieves who were in existence during the Mahinda Rajapaksa administration were also present. The biggest thief is Mahinda Kahandagamage. Thieves like Mahinda Kahandagamage are still around Mahinda Rajapaksa. These thieves are preparing to front the name and image of Mahinda Rajapaksa and engage in further looting of funds. As trade union leaders, we always struggle to protect the rights of the workers, and we will never maintain relationships with thieves. We wish to tell Mahinda Rajapaksa that it is these thieves who are to make you the future leader by using you and staying in your shadow. There are complaints that we made against people like Mahinda Kahandagamage. These include jeering at the judiciary, hurling stones at Shirani Bandaranaike and assaulting lawyers. These thieves are around Mahinda Rajapaksa. When we go to a meeting following an invitation from Mahinda Rajapaksa, they point their fingers at us and say, "Those who sent him to prison are here." How disgraceful is this act?
State Minister of International Trade Sujiva Senasinghe, addressing the 15th Exporters Forum, said that Sri Lanka has to increase its volume of exports and diversify into electronics and machinery to earn more foreign exchange.
One of the reasons for the dollar to appreciate against the rupee is the stagnation of our exports. As a percentage of GDP, exports have dropped from about 32% to 14% during this period. This downward trend could continue unless we diversify our exports and move beyond tea to more tech-based electronic items and machinery, just as countries like Thailand and Malaysia did. We need to improve beyond apparel manufacturing. We are in this crisis today because we didn't move from traditional exports to new industries like electronics and machinery.
The Presidential Commission of Inquiry into Sri Lankan Airlines convened once again today to investigate into matters of abuse, misuse and mismanagement of the company's resources. The witnesses, both operations control managers at the airline, spoke of an incident surrounding the 26th of January 2014.
The witnesses stated that a technical fault in one aircraft, which was reported on the 25th of January, meant that only one aircraft was available to fly two routes the following day. These routes were UL 553 from Colombo to Frankfurt at 1 AM on the 26th of January and UL 563 from Colombo to Paris at 1:15 AM. Following due process, the operations team at the airline decided to delay UL 563 to Paris by 4.5 hours to 5:45 AM. This coincidentally worked well for the management, as a flight from Male to Colombo carrying 75 passengers who were due to board UL 563 had also been delayed, meaning that all passengers would now be able to board the flight to Paris due to the coinciding delays. All decisions regarding rescheduling had been conveyed in writing to the airline senior management team. However, the operations manager testified that he received a phone call from the chairman of the airline, Nishantha Wickramasinghe, who demanded that the delayed Paris flight be reinstated and the Frankfurt flight be delayed instead. The witness stated that this was in violation of the usual protocol, and Chief Operations Officer Dwi Pereira had then been approached about the matter, and he too had recommended that the chairman's orders be followed. As a result of this, over 75 individuals had to be rerouted to Paris via Frankfurt, for which Sri Lankan Airlines had to incur the costs. As a result of this situation, the airline was forced to bear an additional expense of $90,000.
The Standing Committee on Finance of the Colombo Municipal Council has decided to increase the allowance of councillors by 125%.
At the council sessions held on the 26th of July, Colombo Mayor Rosie Senanaike had presented the proposal to raise the allowance given to councillors. The proposal notes the allowance must be increased by 25,000 rupees to meet the level of respect of the municipal councillor. The allowance at present is 20,000 rupees, and if the allowance is increased as proposed, the amount that will have to be allocated for the monthly allowance of all 119 councillors would increase from 2.3 million rupees to 5.3 million rupees. The matter on providing an allowance of 200,000 rupees for 55 parliamentarians for project monitoring was also debated today.
Many pensioners who were anticipating their pension in August have not received any payment as yet. If the government is facing a monetary crisis, they must put a stop to overseas visits, procurement of luxury vehicles, and even the 200,000 rupee fuel scam allowance for the MPs. Do not lay your hand on the savings of the pensioners. This is our request from the government.
දැන්ටමත් මන්ත්‍රීවරු 55 දෙනෙක්ට ව්‍යාපෘති අධීක්ෂණය කියලා ලක්ෂ දෙක ගානේ
A travel allowance is provided and it is nothing deceitful. During the previous government, latest Pajero SUVs were given to all the ruling party MPs from the Ministry of Economic Affairs. It was given to Vas Gunawardena, who was the monitoring MP for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. What we are providing is nothing like that.
ඇමතුමා දැනට මන්ත්‍රීවරු මේ මන්ත්‍රීවරුන්ට මේ දීමනාව දෙනවද ඇමතුමනේ ඒක? ලිස්ට් එකේ ඉන්නේ 55ක් හැබැයි එතන දැන් ඉන්නවා නියෝජ්‍ය ඇමතිවරු රාජ්‍ය ඇමතිවරු ඒ වගේම ඒවා ඉවත්.
Those will be removed. Ranjit Aluvihare is a backbench MP, yet he is a state minister. He does not get the allowance.
ඒ වගේ තමයි. ඇමතුමා අර අධීක්ෂණ මන්ත්‍රීවරුන්ට තෙල් සඳහා කීයක් දෙනවද?
I will have to check that. I cannot recall it at once.
ඔබතුමාගේ අමාත්‍යාංශයෙන් ගෙවන්නේ ඒක ඇමතුමා අපි ඇහුවේ.
I will check the figures. I will check and let you know.
Approximately 11 million rupees is spent per month as allowance of 200,000 rupees for the 55 MPs. The money can in fact be used to construct at least 10 reverse osmosis plants to provide clean drinking water to the most remote areas. Shouldn't the money that is to be spent citing project monitoring be put to good use by spending them on behalf of the betterment of the people?
Newsfirst has been carrying multiple exposés on Jehan Amaratunga, who obtained a loan of 10 billion rupees from People's Bank, where he serves as director. For another company, he serves as a deputy chairman. These were the views expressed on social media on the matter.
Daya Gamage. There is a sum of 1,420,000 rupees in loans due to be paid within 90 days. I am talking solely about the businesses owned by Daya Gamage. Despite this, more loans continue to be granted. Can this happen? Who is the general manager of People's Bank? Lasanta Kumar. He is the person who is contacted on his cell phone and influenced, saying if the loan is not granted, the due loans will not be repaid. More loans are being requested because he is a big shot in the United National Party. So Lasanta Kumar is obligated to unselfishly grant loans to Daya Gamage. But these are public funds. This is just one point. There is another person in the board of directors. That is Jehan Amaratunga, the infamous Jehan Amaratunga. This infamous director also holds director positions in the board of several private companies. If a particular person is serving as a director in the director board of a private company and is being appointed to the post of director at a bank at the same time, under section 47, he or she should declare the reason in writing as to why a loan is being granted for the private company he or she serves as a director. It is the experts and veterans in the banking sector who says this. However, Jehan Amaratunga, during his tenure as a director at People's Bank, has issued a total of 10.4 billion rupees in loans. Who is Jehan Amaratunga? With whom does he associate? Jehan Amaratunga is one of the closest friends of Gamini Senarath, who served as the Chief of Staff of President Mahinda Rajapaksa. Who is he having the deals with now? Who is he maintaining the friendship with? Under whose political blessing is the People's Bank being robbed? Jehan Amaratunga is an ally of Malik, who robbed the central bank in broad daylight.
The Sri Lankan swimming team that will compete in the Jakarta Palembang 2018 Asian Games left the island this morning.
Education officials have provided the opportunity to Akalanka Peris from St. Peter's College, Bambalapitiya to sit for 3 subjects of the GCE Advanced Level Examination in Jakarta, Indonesia, as he is competing in the 2018 Asian Games. This is the very first occasion where a Sri Lankan sportsman is given an opportunity to sit for a national examination from overseas. Akalanka will sit for the GCE Advanced Level English, Accounting and General Knowledge papers in Jakarta, Indonesia.
And with that, we conclude tonight's edition of Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. As always, I'm Mahina Bongso. Take care and good night.